Let's see what I have for you. Please, come again.
Hello everyone. Can you hear me? Sound check. Sound check. Hello. Look orange again. All right. Can try adjust the light in the room. Perhaps helps. Let me see. Maybe not. Hello, Henrik. How are you doing? I'm doing great. Did it get darker? Is it too dark? I don't know. So, yeah, I'm doing good. Very hot in here though, but I can't complain. It's summertime. Open the window. I have a window open behind me, so light is hitting the camera and broadcast filtering may behave strange. That's why I may look a little bit orange and space glow around me. But I hope it works anyway. It's not about looking at me here in perfect frame, right? Evening there you on 81. 10 degrees in Sweden. Very hot. It is 27 degrees in my room, which is very hot to be in Sweden. 25 outside. Pretty hot as well. So yeah, it's hot to be here. So the color looks better now. I'm not as orange. It's something with the light in the room that makes it go a little bit crazy with the filters. Nice tan. I'm not that tan, but like I said, the filter may look a little bit strange. It's about 70 to 80 Fahrenheit. Yeah, I'm not sure exactly what it translates to Fahrenheit, but yeah, 27 Celsius in the room is abnormally hot to be here in Sweden. Rookie numbers 35 here. Is it 35 in your room though? I assume living in such hot country you have AC, right? AC is not that common in Sweden because it's only like around 2 months where it's a little bit uncomfortable hot inside. Other than that, it's quite cold, right? Look dark, all right. Yeah, I think when the sun sets a little bit here, the light always gets a little bit natural during evenings. On 4 Fahrenheit here, what's that Celsius? Stop playing with fireballs. Is there delay on TC PTR next week or are we good? We are good so far. We are good so far. So we set up publicly when we announced 2 PTRs, right? We are looking to do a 3rd special edition PTR possible, also to make a final hit on TC. We also plan to crunch in a little bit extra stress on the server at that point. So yeah, we're good so far. Starting the first PTR next stream, you know, so that's on Wednesday in a week from now. And so that's the first one, and it's also the first time we test the whole PTR procedure. Hopefully that will be quite smooth, hopefully. But we are on standby and expect some possible chaos on the first one. But hopefully something we are, you know, able to get under control if there's something causing some TC testing issues. But yeah, so far so good. 40 degrees Celsius, yeah, that's unhealthy. Will Siege Weapon be in PTR? Yes. So I actually so we have another so we have our internal testing with the QA team, as you know. And then we have yeah, actually I saw a node was just recovered. So if you're experiencing lag on live, that is why there's a recover node taking over. That usually takes a minute, and then things should go back to normal. And it has recovered now, I see right now, 20:03, so it was 3 minutes ago. So should be good again any moment. And yeah, that's also one of the focus during PTR. There are some specific components going in on PTR at the same time, so we can make sure we have the node stability and the recovery mode improved, so we can hopefully get less of the hiccups that happens every now and then. So toxic video, I'm gonna announce when we are on the MO2 giveaway. As you can see on the current topic, we are on the first point, and when we are on the third one, that's when you will be able to participate in signing up for the giveaway that we do weekly. So give us a moment and we will reach that point in a moment. Ooh, when with someone that doesn't own the game already wins the key. That happens every now and then, actually. I usually ask if they are seasoned or not, and every now and then, you know, we get newcomers that have been following us that wins the key. But obviously, you know, we have the hardcore followers in here mostly, which is, you know, hardcore players and waiting for the big patches, and having them in like greater numbers obviously gives higher chances of someone to getting another one, right? But it's obviously great to see some newcomers win the key every now and then. Can we see the caliber before PTR? No, we cannot. We are 100% focused on TC. There's so many areas where we can refine things, make them a little bit more clear to the players, and that list goes on, right? We want to make sure that it's, you know, understandable, it's clear, and obviously that it works most of all. So that's why we're also taking it in steps. Ban real time? What? Hello, actually I started playing the game today, still on Tutorial Island. It's an absolutely beautiful game. I'm looking forward to getting involved with the territorial warfare aspects of the game. Kustark, welcome to Mortal Online, and it's awesome to hear that you are already in it on the Tutorial Island. Take your time there. It's good to practice your parry counters playing against the bandits, and you know, getting the base running before you enter Milan, where, you know, anything goes. It's still a bit rough when it comes to new player experience when leaving Haven, which we are doing big work on to improve, which is being deployed on the epic patch. So it's not in the TC, but the big patch after. So that will greatly help new players also to, you know, get going pretty much. Awesome to see new players showing up on a daily basis and enjoying themselves. So that's awesome. I mean, usually these summer times it's a little bit more calm, you know, people are on vacation, it's hot, and sometimes there's a little bit of a break in games. Now, of course, also have Diablo 4 and some of those big games released that obviously many want to try out, right? But it's awesome to see that we still have some decent activity before we have released the big stuff, right? Indeed, prepare and embrace death and learn by every death, and you will be fine over time in Mortal 9. That's a good tip. Does the first TC badge have the feature where you can home priest your TC allied village? So we haven't really... There's a few functions and features that we haven't really 100% confirmed due to specific gameplay around the new mechanics that we're gonna test first. You know, there's gonna be supply runs, a lot of important components that gonna spice things up and put players in guild activity on the move in the world, trading routes and so on. So you know, that's the main part and focus. And of course, balance around all the numbers, siege machines, quite important. So obviously we are eager on collecting feedback and see how that plays out as well in a more big number scenario when you guys get to dig into it. We will be able to construct banks, yes. That works similar to NPC banks. Hen dog. Am I too hardcore incoming? What do you mean hardcore incoming? That you're gonna be able to use siege machines or what? Hello there, for Luco. Thought it was Farmville 4. The Banespike TV. So we're planning to flush out the Equerries and Priest in the current system, because now we have the fully functional system where you hire the NPC services along with their structures and services at a fee, and also give you better control of who can use them and control them. So because that's something we're lacking today, right? Anyone accessing NPC can use them, right? So that's gonna change. You're gonna have the option for that and the responsibility for that. So the plan is to kind of flush them out. We will communicate the steps, right? Want back the bag selling feature from M1, selling entire sets of armor, for example. Yeah, that's a good quality of life function. We have heard that a few times, and that's a, you know, valid quality of life function that we agree. We want to have it back. The question is in which patch we will have time to add it, right? Yeah, so there's been a few bugs with the tornadoes. First of all, they're not meant to throw you that high all the time, which means instant death. So that's a bug. And it's also not supposed to tick multiple hits in seconds. So it's not a spell that will insta-kill anyone when it behaves correctly. So that's been quite tricky one, because to reproduce that have been a little bit tricky. We got the reports, but reproducing it's been a little bit tricky. But our coder found a few bugs in it, and it have been fixed. So it may already be fixed. I'm not 100% sure. We need to check with the test team to confirm. But yeah, it's not meant to give you multiple ticks and instantly kill you, or throw you up hundreds of meters that also always kill you. So that's being worked on. What will happen to the storm mounts pets? So we're looking to flush them out, right? So maybe you will be able to take them out, but not fill more of them until you use your proper equerries. Do you see what I mean? So we're trying to find a suitable way to flush them out. Of course, we are considering, you know, the transition to be as smooth as possible. All right. There are other spells with the capability to one-shot at those intended or planning to tweak them. Depends on what exactly. As we had a few other spells that behave the same way, where they tick multiple times rather than one tick, which obviously adds a lot more damage than intended. So if it's one of those bugs, then it will be changed. Then there are a few specific spells, like the, what is called, is it the fuming bubbles, where it, you know, spread out multiple projectiles and they spread and then focus on one point, and they're very slow but very deadly if all of them hit you. But that's, you know, quite extreme if you manage to hit with all of them. So it depends on that situation. Oh my god, I've got something in my throat, sorry. Uh, yes, we're gonna add barber at some point in the game. We want you to have those skills as a profession and learn to discover rare and unique types of facial and hairstyles that you'll be able to offer to other players. So that's gonna be a player profession. Make farming crops great for the first time. Yeah, so as mentioned, there's a lot of things we want to add and expand on when it comes to the TC, right? And we can't just throw everything in one go, because then we're never going to be able to close the patch, right? So farming and breeding are two perfect examples. Cool features and functions that we want to add along with TC, but not in the first batch, because again, we want it correct and polished and balanced. We also want to refine them a little bit since the first version in the first game. Cool system, but there are some issues and we want to refine them a little bit and make them more player involved also. So they will come eventually, and it also heavily depends on you guys. What do you want to see in the upcoming roadmaps? So again, we want to have a lot of pointers from you guys. What direction, what areas should we prioritize to add on upcoming roadmap? But yeah, for sure. Yeah, we're trying to reproduce some of those guild bugs. Not very easy to reproduce, but obviously we want to have them fixed as soon as we possibly can. So we are working on them. All right, let's see. Shall we move on, guys, until we reach the Q&A again, where we can go over questions and so on. Sneak peek, eh? Oh, barbers can do the Heihachi here from M1. Was pretty cool, right? We will see if we can get some of those back. For sure. Let me... Alright. To go to the doctor appointment, eh? Alright, we can proceed. We can proceed. Let's see. Shall we take a little sneak peek? So this is one of the internal builds that we're experimenting and throwing all kind of stuff on before it goes to the more official tests. And then finally, PTR server setup that is running now as well. So we're preparing everything, as you know, for the first public test servers next week. So exactly 1 week from now, that's when you're gonna be able to join in on TC tests. We're cloning everything from the live server setup, including the database. And you will be able to log in and hopefully help us in greater number to test the crap out of all those things and help us getting it polished and balanced. Right, let's take a little look on what I have running on current build. Let me see if I can. What's this? Why is it showing just a corner, guys? Oh, okay. Oop. One moment, guys. I'm not sure why this. There we go. That should be enough. Right? Do we have any sound, by the way? Do we have sound? Do you hear me? In game also. Sound good. Alright, right. Let's take a look on this test build, shall we? So I'm in one of Starvald's cities that we have built. This awesome place where we are dominating world supreme power. Right. So here we have a barrack where we get our quartermaster access with some important stuff, obviously, as you can see here when it comes to warfare.
Welcome back anytime.
Very important. And it also comes with some security, guard functions and so on. Total domination, indeed. So we finally got some really cool functions as well enabled on our siege machines, our Scorpion Ballista and Manganon catapult. Prices are in a draft, right? So just like all numbers that we're presenting for PTR is in a draft state. And some of them can be off. So obviously we're gonna take the opportunity to monitor everything, time, costs, and of course feedback, right? And that will help us hopefully to get it as refined as possible. So as we mentioned before, we're gonna set up, so we're gonna update our website with like a more clear manual, how everything works, and also our intention behind the PTR sessions, what we need help focus on, and how you report things so we can efficiently follow up on those things. So that will be very clear. We are working on that manual and updates. We're gonna put it on the website very soon. And like I said, you have your copy from live, so you're not starting from scratch, right? So if you're already in a guild, have your character and gold and stuff, that is all copied over here. So you will be able to join in with your guild and test things as you would if it was live, right? So for instance, let me show you these cool siege machines. These are the stationary versions, right? And as I mentioned before, we are starting with the stationary versions, and we plan to deploy the mobile versions next. So right now you have to quite carefully place them in a good position. Look a little bit thirsty, right? So positioning these stationary one is obviously quite important because they are a bit expensive. And while they are placed, you know, let's jump in here, right? So it has some really cool functions. And when you look at these levers and so on, it also gives you a little instruction how you control it, right? So right mouse button to aim the turret, for instance. So this lever here is the spring tension. As I mentioned before, we try to make them believable and realistic, right? We don't want them to be just like any other game where they are completely unrealistic and just look cool and shoot a thing, right? Already more immersive than Star Citizen. Well, we like I said, we try to make them interesting and have some logic behind them. So as you know, we design all these gears and ropes and chains to be there in a logical way. We used an engineer that had a lot of fun putting them together, so there's some kind of logic behind them. But for us to have the spring tension to move them, because obviously in a lot of games when you move this turret, it's pure magic, right? But we try to explain that movement, force, and tension with this tension spring. So if I pull this, now it's loaded. That means I have a tension in this. Now I can rotate this motherfucker. Really cool. So this is all spring tension. If you look at this here, you see it moves up, right? So it's like a, you know, the power of the movement. So every time I move this, it moves the tension. Pretty cool, pretty cool. So obviously when the tension is out, you have to pull the lever again to get that tension moving. So there's some logic why it can move. And you can hear that also. Right. So, so now I can start loading it here, pulling it, and you can see how that goes back. And I can stop at any time. It's fully dynamic. So I can load it 100% or I can load it a little bit less. It needs to be a certain load for you to be able to put the ammo in these machineries. Like if I continue fully locked, now I have full force, obviously, right? Now if you notice, I didn't put any ammo in there, so now it's empty loaded. And if I shoot, BAM! BAM! I shoot without ammo, right? Just like it would in real life. So it's ultra realistic. Ultra realistic. So obviously for me to place a bolt, I'm gonna show you how that's done. So let's load it again. Like so, and then I need to jump off. It goes down to allow me to jump off. And it's a fully physical thing also. I can stand on it like you saw. And that's the first step towards having the full support for wagons and ships in the future as well. Okay, so we have a siege tent, which is a key to start building siege machineries and also construct ammo for it, as you can see here. Look at this mofo with a nice boulder to load. We will let him load the machine. Go ahead, Nimbus. Load the baby. Load her up. I can show you also how it looks when taking it out. It's really cool. So you can actually see Ammo Runner for the first time ever in Mortal history. And place it up there. So as you can see here, now we have a bolt in action. All right. So if I jump up here again in the little seats. So there's one thing that I that I forgot to say. Oh well, yeah, as you can see, there's some refinement being done as well. You see this metal bar here on the top. It's covering the bolts in first person seat too much, right? So you barely see it's loaded, which we are already adjusting. So in tomorrow's build, you're gonna see the bolts more clearly. And we're also we're actually slowing down the bolts a little bit. And we're adding the same trail as we have on arrows, so it's easier to see them, because as you can see now, in first person especially, it's quite hard to see the projectile flying. So we're gonna make that a little bit more interesting. I'm wicked impressed. Nice, awesome to hear, because you know, there's a lot of hard work being put into the details here. Shall we try the bolt on this horsey? Not the hose. Right, so this is the lever for firing, right? And that's also bound to left mouse button because it's obviously natural. Let's see if we can hit this little baby horsey. All right, let's do it. Boom! Bam! Bam! All right, so that's pretty much how you use Scope and Ballista. Pretty much, right? So, pretty straightforward, pretty cool. As you can see, we placed one on the gate here, so you can shoot some incoming enemies. And we have one straight down the line if we have enemies at the gate. Need some shiv ragdolls so people go flying with the shot. So obviously there's an impact force, right? And yeah, we plan to do some cool stuff here. Again, that is secondary, right? But we want to give the crap out of things, you know? Imagine Quake Gibbs. Because it's cool, right? It's cool. Alright. Yeah, so we're working on where there are space, you can place these machines. So you can use them as a defensive counter, both Manganons and Scorpion Ballistas. Just, it's up to your imagination where you want them, right? They are stored in database, so when you construct them, they are there until they are broken or destroyed. Anything Quake is good. Yeah, I mean, I want a pure gore violence Gib when you have a full hit on with these machineries, because it makes sense and it's cool, right? It's the feedback satisfaction. wonder if we have some... okay, my spring is out. It's easy to forget about why can't I move anymore, and that's the spring tension, right? So, now we're back. And that's also a little bit, as I said, both, you know, logical explanation, how it magically moves, and it also ties a little bit in balance, right? If you're trying to hit targets moving heavily, you know, that's a little cooldown, so a little balance factor as well. Shall we put a little bolt on this guy? Let's see what happens. Not too damaging. I'm not sure if he have a godly godly armor on or not. That could be the case, because here on this no. So this bolt is killing normal players, trust me. But in this situation, we were not. We didn't have normal gear, so there will be a difference. Absolutely, it kills. It's very deadly. It's very deadly. All right, let me show you the other. I like how it, you know, takes me down as well. It's pretty cool. Shall we take a look on the Manganon? No, it's not junk. As I mentioned, we have some cheating gear here and cheating items to speed up some process and do things. It's deadly. It's deadly. Look at how cool this is. So you're gonna actually see boulder runners this time around. In Molten 1, it's a strong motherfucker. In Molten 1, you just stood there next to it magically with some bags and you loaded it up. It's not really the case anymore, which is really cool. So again, here we load this, and I can load it in steps, right? So I can stop here if I want to. I can go more and place the boulder, and we have the spring tension here also, and it's stored from the last position, right? So you can, you know, it's all dynamic. And here we can rotate like this, and you can see how the wheels and everything, all the mechanic, again, has sense when it moves around. So it's really cool. So you aim on distance depending on how far you pull this back. You can pull it fully way down there, and then you have full force and full range. Now I only loaded it like half, right? Which means quite short range. Shall we try hit this little barrack? With this short aim, let's hit it. Aim! Got a little sweet hit there on the barrack. We'll have to load it again. So as you can see, it was quite short range in half. This is a little bit more. Let's see how this goes. A little bit more punch. And we destroyed the freaking roof on that little baby. We wrecked the roof on the little baby, eh? Alright. So, same mechanics here. You load it, you can load it here yourself. So obviously, it's much more efficient to have a friend that runs with the ammo for you, so you don't have to go in and out every time. That will be quite inefficient. So load it again here. So again, everything is not final when it comes to effects and so on. A lot of things are being refined. So yeah, you can expect to see some of the effects and boulder and stuff to be changed over time as well. Yeah. Bang. So if we load it fully, let's take a look here. So you can see a little bit more range power. Ooh, there. Let's see. Let's see how far we can get. Should probably hit the wall here. And there's some fine tuning. Like I said, effects and sound. I noticed just in this build that some of the sound on far distances isn't long enough, which makes it feels like, did I hit or not? That's gonna be extended, so you hear this far end hits. Alright, let's see how far we go here if we aim like this. Let's go. Pretty good range, so we got past the wall actually. Past the wall. So that's something you need to play around with as well. The tension on this one to get aim. Stuff like that. And we also have we're looking to have 2 different types of ammo. One is the classic boulder and one is a jar that explodes and put fire stuff. I'm not sure if I can shoot Nimbus at this time. It doesn't... I don't think so. I'm not sure if he can get up there either. Let's see. Alright. Already? I have no clue what's gonna happen. Let's try it. Let's go. What the hell? I didn't think that would work actually. I'm quite surprised. Holy shit, I thought that it would just go through or something, but I guess you died, right? Nimbus, are you alive? Another one. Now that is what I needed, immortal. I didn't expect that actually. But yeah, that shows the dynamic of it. Like we haven't, experimented and tested all type of scenarios. So, but we try to build things where there are logic and the force that, yeah. So that's interesting. Again, obviously, we are very keen on having you testing the crap out of these things to see if you can find something that, we need to take care of before we push it live. But very cool. Very cool. Right? Put a satyr on there and throw it over a wall. How much damage did it take? I'm not sure if he died or not, so I can ask him. I suppose so. Catapult launch assault troops. We have to make this a feature now, please. Again, we have to evaluate this and test it and see if that's something that should be a thing or not. We want to be careful, obviously, to not, break things balance-wise and so on. But yeah. It should 100% be a thing. We'll most likely let it be in for PTR 1 and let you guys experiment and test everything you can come up with and hopefully help us in getting things in a good position, right? How cool is that when you see the ammo runners? We didn't have that in the first game. I mean, we had nothing of this in the first game, right? Now it's much more logical. Trying to jump up there, eh? We do want to have evaluation on test speed and stuff, which means we can't give everything for free and sped up, because then we won't really have that test phase, right? So shall we do a double shot here? See what the hell happens. Let's go. What the fuck is... Oh my god. So we got a little double shot here with a rock and a flying emote player. that looks crazy. Imagine being on the defender side and see someone flying next to a ball with this animation. Did he die? I'm gonna ask him. To 6k damage to Nimbus. Yeah, I think he died, right? I think he died. Yeah, looks like he died. I'm dropping a finger mode on my way to sweet death. Yeah, he died. So yeah, again, we have a base draft value set on hit points and everything and damage where we think could be a good start. And then we're gonna evaluate all that during the PTR 1 and most likely adjust a lot of it for PTR 2. And then run another one. Let me show you some running boulder stuff. It's really cool. God damn it, Starbolt, looks sick. Thank you. The team is very happy to hear that. A lot of hard work have been put into this small but detailed, cool stuff. And, you know, it's not something being done in one little run. So, yeah, I'm very happy with the result. And here, as you can see, you can choose to take a bolt from here for a scorpion or a little boulder here. Let's take a little boulder. Bam! Pretty cool. Pretty cool. Launch myself. I need to access the lever to launch myself. I'm not sure if I do that from there. That part is a little bit magical, but we try to see how can we reach it. Do I need to be in a reach range and have the animation for that? And it made it so much more clunky to get going. So there needs to be a little room for magic, right? To make it a little bit smooth and, you know, acceptable, I would say, or so. Yeah, I guess it could pull lever, but I will fly at certain depth. No doubt. But it's really cool with the destruction as well. So we're not using the fully chaos destruction system because we're not on Unreal 5 yet, but we have a lot of things prepared to switch that will give us even more cool, detailed weight and punchy physics to a lot of this destruction that we have going on. Do the siege camps spawn with ammo already, or does one have to craft it? So the idea is that, so you have to build it, right? And then you have to add resources to construct it, and that gives the ammo. And when you take out the ammo, it pulls down the hit points, like it depletes it from the resources, so someone else has to refill it. So it's very important when you plan sieges and such, you have to have enough of resources to cause that type of construction and damage, right? So you need to refill it with stones and such resources to be able to have a flow of boulders ready. So again, we try to make it a little bit more interesting and make it more sense, but still keeping the very important logistics by having the resources and work around that. So, you know, you have to prepare that chain of resources to maintain a steady flow of damage stuff. Will there be siege ladders? We don't have any siege ladders in the first pack of TC, and we are a little bit unsure of the function behind it. So there are room for additional defensive and offensive functions, but some of them need heavy, you know, testing, and we're a little bit unsure of some of them because it kind of bypasses some of our plan design when it comes to how defense should work and how you siege and what kind of components we have to try to prevent a siege, so you don't bypass several things of that. One of the new very important new thing that I've mentioned before is the supply lines and supply towers. So, you know, we've had a lot of discussions about ninja sieges, right? And it's something that was quite a problem in the first game. No one really liked it. You know, when you logged on the morning, everything was gone, you know, stuff like that. And at the same time, we don't want the artificial countdown, and now the siege works, and after that countdown, siege doesn't work anymore. But I think we found a really good in-between solution that fits Mortal Online and it's quite unique. And I've gone through it more in depth before with you guys. And it all comes down to the supply lines, and every city owners can construct supply structures in certain ways. And then we have the towers that are spread out that anyone can capture. So those are like capture the flags quite easily to steal and take. And those all adds to defense value. So for instance, a perfectly secured keep location has both supply lines under control, it has a storehouse under control, and it may have a few supply towers. And if that's the case, you have pretty much, you know, 100% defense. You can't just go here and destroy things. So you have to first knock down some of those supply lines. And when that happens, that's when the defense value goes down over time. So that's our take on the siege windows. It makes more sense, it's more clear, and it's a progression depending on how much of this you wreck from the enemies, and enemies have that as a very strong indication we are under siege, you know. Yeah, my nose is itchy, I don't know why. All right, let's shoot it. Chicka boom! Bang! Bang! Will TC include heads on spike? No, no. There's a lot of those cool things that we will have, but not on the initial one. There's so much in the core system that is completely new from the first game ever that, you know, obviously we are a little bit nervous, we are very excited at the same time, but it's very important that the core is in place and in a good balance before we can refine with some cool fluff and additional humiliation stuff, such as pokes with your enemy head, stuff like that. So I hope that makes sense. Boulder and auto spells start doing structure damage after the TC. I have to confirm. I have to confirm if we enable those steps yet. Taurus TV, thank you very much for the subscription. Appreciate it. So, and as I mentioned, it depends heavily on your supply. These things are getting in now as well. More and more stats and data for you guys to monitor the whole thing. There are steps to upgrade your village to more powerful kingdoms by achieving certain requirements. And you can see your, you know, cost upkeep and what you have going on for your city. So good stuff, good stuff. And then we have this little thing that I really much enjoy. So we add a new function here. If you have mouse over the members, you will be able to see your fellow guild members, how active and good they are at contributing to your guild and kingdom. So as you can see here, we showed last day, week, and month, and total accumulated. And this is very important because prominence is a key component, the new currency for all kingdom builders in the world. So if you're a lazy bum and you've set up a goal for every guild member, you can see that if he's doing his job or not by checking him like this, right? So Nix, I'm not too happy with Nix. He only contributed yesterday for the entire month with 133 prominence. He's out. He's out, guys. Now this guy though, he's a little bit better. Momo. Momo is doing his job. He's doing his job, alright? So let's promote him. Let's promote him. How do you earn prominence? So there's a few ways of earning prominence. The one basic way of doing it is by killing any opponents, pretty much. Bosses, creatures, that gives you glory. So the glory also transfer to prominence. So I'm doing my part. So just, you know, going out in the world, killing bandits and such will slowly accumulate prominence along with the glory. We will have some ties to PvP, which is might. If you kill high ranked members, you gain a little bit more. You remove that also from your enemies. You can steal, you can deplete. Or is it only deplete? Yeah, I think it's so. You can deplete prominence from enemies. And we have a trade function. I'm not sure if we have that fully in yet, but a trade function that also could bring surplus prominence, or if it's called something else now. So those are the three main ways of getting prominence. So you contribute it individually, and then you give it to the territory here, as you can see, supply prominence. So everyone works together as a unit or a guild territory for the prominence. All right, and here we can also see that our city's supply goods have been depleted. So my services operations are not optimal, which means this city is due for a supply run. We need to refill the supply goods for NPC services to be have their goods. So that means you need to go to a steward and grab some big packages and run across the world to trade to get supply restocked to the cities and everything fully functional again. Uncompressed game build when? What do you mean? What are supply goods? So supply goods, so all cities where you have NPC service and such, whenever someone is buying, selling, trading in your city, you earn a tax rate, but you also the goods depletes, right? So you can't just, as in the first game, you can hire an NPC and it had magically endless money. So you could just go out, farm, butchers animals and sell them in infinity until you had 100,000 of gold, and you never had to leave your city. So you magically printed gold out of in the air, which isn't really realistic, and it also didn't promote realistic trading and conflicts moving around in the world. And this is the solution for that. So when you have done several types of trades with your NPC services, their goods depletes, and this is what happened in this case. We are depleted. So now you have to do a supply run with your fellow members because it's heavy goods. You may want to prefer, you know, Camperon or, you know, heavy carrying animals, and carry these goods to a city. The further the distance to a degree, the more efficiency of the trade. So you can't just live next to Tinram, for instance, ride 2 minutes or 1 minute and have full supply stock. It doesn't work like that. So all of this is going to be documented in a manual, so it's explained and put on a website also along quite soon. We're going to put it on a website so everyone can read up on it and prepare when it comes to that, those details. So this is obviously going to promote trading across the world, and there are obviously some consequences of losing these goods, right? So if you hijack someone else, you're starving your enemies, you could say, by starving the supply goods. Uncompressed pack files which are improving acid load. Our game is compressed, so it wouldn't have run if it wasn't tank bay. So there's additional scenarios we've gone through here. So I need to refresh my memory also, so I'm not saying the wrong thing. There's been so much design going back and forth in all these details, but we thought about where this can be abused, right? Having small dummy supply runs with you know, houses next to things to benefit from their supply runs. So we had to decide that you can't utilize enemy supplies by refilling yours, because there were loopholes where you can put up a system and have that bypassed in a safer manner. So there's some restriction on how they are identified for you only, and the distance for you only to be fully operational. So but there are still a point in if it's your enemy's supply run, you know, preventing that from for them for doing that is gonna cost them, right? And you can sell them, so you can gain some money on it, if I'm not mistaken. That was one of our last additions to it as well. So yeah, so it's a very interesting system that obviously we are very, very keen on seeing how it practically works in a larger scale when you guys jump in. So, but it's a very important component, because again, we want to stop printing infinite money inside walls, and that's a very important component. And it's great and fun, because you're going to have people traveling in the world much more. There's going to be trades and so on. But the skill upgrade. So you start as a small. I'm not sure if it's a village or the first. So there's different titles for your city, right? You start as a small little peon. And then if you have certain amount of prominence and capture supply towers, there are some requirements. You can upgrade this when you have the correct rank for it, which means you expand your growing rates additionally. And there's a few pools, etc. that also grows along with your guild rank. So you can keep expanding. So yeah, there's a lot of new stuff going on here. Now we get nighttime. It's a little bit harder to see, because I wanted to run around and show you a little bit on the TC billings as well. Yeah, so some of these things we need to make clear as well. Upkeep, cost and such, per day, hours. We need to make that clear, right? So we're going to add that in the manual as well. There's even things that I'm a little bit unsure of. So we're going to make that clear. All right. You can see a little bit. So here we got a general store. We will add fire arrows as soon as we can. Not initially either, but we will have fire arrows. And the fire have additional damage against wooden stuff. So fire arrows against these siege machines gonna be good. And of course we have elementalism spells that is also effective against these machineries. Is glory 1-to-1 with prominence? Yes, currently it is. And that's also to make it clear and simple. So we set the value requirements based on that as well. But we thought that could be make it more easy for anyone to follow. So here we got a general store, right? Where we can hire store service NPCs. We have this guard tower where you can hire upgrade for guard service protection. So we got this little guard here. It's a guild guard, so he won't kill me, but any other criminals he may kill on sight. So if you're walking around here and become a criminal, he will snipe the crap out of you. Alright? And you can only construct a certain amount of these defense building depending on rank, and some other buildings such as the barracks that enable some of those functions. He's wearing steel. I'm not sure exactly. So those are the things that we're also gonna go through and set. No, they are killable. They act as any bandit guard in the world. You don't have access to lictors, and that's powerful range. You're not part of a nation at this point, so they will be more like a decent bandit or so. That's also part of the PTR, right? We want to see how effective they are. Obviously, we want to have them to make sure that people can build open public cities, and those guards should help keeping it as a protected city, right? But obviously, it will always be conquerable and destroyable. But they should obviously play a role and help in that, right? So here we got a little extraction foundation where you can put these machineries and construct them. So you'll be able to, you know, crush, extract things. Is prominence map wide? Yes. Got a little bank upgraded, so you can also have guards hired here, as you can see. Well, he's facing the wrong way though. Can you turn around, please? No, you can't. Here we see upkeep, rename, demolish, toggle guards, so we can fire guards if we need to. And here we can also set access by rank. So you have very good control of all buildings. Got a little nice library here. Veteran librarian. It's a cool building. Pretty cool, eh? It's nice. It's cozy. Perfect with permissions. Indeed. We want you to have full control. A forge. Of course we need a little forge. Conan the Librarian confirmed. So here we got the forge people being busy here. You know. You have access to that. Same thing here. You can set access and everything. Smithy. So the townsmith will construct. So these buildings are upgradable, right? So you start smaller and then you upgrade it and you will have more space and functions to add here. As you can see, I think this is a fully upgraded function and it has all these tables. Can a solar manage a small house and stable? Yes. So a small house have a certain radius around it where you can construct a few buildings. And you have larger radius with the steps up, right? Large house, stronghold, and keep. And keep have endless, infinite growth possibilities depending on enemy borders. But there are limitations on house owners. It's only the keep owners that have unlimited growth opportunity. Again, depending on other ranges. The question is, what is your FPS right now? I mean, all these structures, assets we have built, have been carefully designed to be as optimized as possible. So they're even more optimized than anything else we have in the game. I'm not sure what I have, but I'm running 100 things in the background. Yeah, 140 something. 160, depending on looking, 200. Yeah. So these buildings are extremely optimized. I would say quite more than the towers and keeps that we have in old. Cap it back. Yeah, the stream is lagging when I cap my CPU. That's why I have them on 60, guys. But yeah, we made sure that all these buildings are sharing maps in an efficient way, textures, and are heavily optimized, so you won't have a big hit from constructing all the different buildings. Yeah, my stream is lagging when my CPU bounds because I have a lot of stuff running, and that means the stream is lagging even though I have 200 plus FPS. You won't see that then. All in the same patch. What do you mean? Yeah, all this is in the first TC pack. And the performance issues. You see me lagging also in the camera, right? You know how stream works, right? When the CPU is bound, the stream lags even though your game is running smooth on my end. That's how it works when you're CPU bound. but the game was running over 200 FPS, as in very good performance in here. You'll test it for yourself, and you will notice that when you are in your base like this, if you have a keep, you can keep track of your FPS, and then you can construct all of this stuff, fill the whole thing, and compare the FPS, and you're gonna see that it has a very minimal impact with all these new assets. It's also built in a clever way where it occlude and you know, LOD details on the inside in a proper way when you can't see them. So a lot of efforts have been put into making sure these assets are very cheap but still look very nice, right? We have really good artists doing a lot of good work on that. Yeah, we need the macros for emotes and shortcuts. We will have them eventually. I'm not sure when. What happens when guards is killed? It will respawn eventually. There's an upkeep, a cost to have the guards, right? Money and prominence. So, and like I said, there are some limitations on which one can upgrade to have guards. And so you can't just spam thousands of guards, obviously with balance in mind also. So we want to make sure that people can build and live out in their cities. So it's not that, well, you can't really live there because you can't store any items. You still have to go back to NPC cities. We don't want that difference from an NPC city and a player-run city. So the banks have access to that magical storage that makes them secured. So if they're destroyed, you can rebuild them and get access to the same storage again. So you can't just lose your bank storage. So we have been looking into doors, and we do want to add doors, but it came with a lot of technical issues that will require more time. So we don't have them for now. But eventually, I hope that we'll be able to add doors on where it makes sense to give you that additional option for closing down things. Can you show the barracks, Vendor? Yeah, so this is the Quartermaster. One moment. The Quartermaster brings you siege tent deeds, supply tower deeds, and ballista deeds. So when you wanna go out in the world and claim dominance for supply towers, put your name on the world map, put your map on the tower. Eventually it's gonna be your banner and color also, but now it's just a generic color. Yeah, the price is wrong. It's meant to be 120 gold in this build. So ignore the 12 gold, all right? Yeah, but that's also could be that we need to additionally tweak it after the first PTR. But so far, it's currently set to 120 gold. We missed a 0, two decimals. Yeah, that's prominence. So you have gold and prominence. Correct, Faithful Pepper. Show it in action. Did you miss my little showcase of the siege machineries? Have new people arrived late or what? What? This little baby right here. They're lovely. Spring tension, pull it down. Check. Load. Loading. Now it's fully loaded. Spring tension to move the ballista. Come on, baby. Come on. Gonna shoot the moon, eh? But now I don't have a bolt loaded. Or did it load one? Maybe it did. Yeah, so you see this steel bar here. The artist is already modifying it so we can see the bolt more clearly, because it's actually, you know, making me not see the actual bolt. What should I shoot? Nimbus? Poor Nimbus, it is my load machine. Alright, let's go for it! Quick gib! Quick gib! Right? So that's the ballista. That's the ballista. Real cool. Real cool. And yeah, we got one over here on the gate as well, so if someone shady's coming close, we shoot them. We shoot them, right? This is the other baby, the Manganon. The Manganon. No, he was using godly gear before. That's why there was such a difference. Again, spring tension, loading, and this is the cool thing. You can load it as much or a little as you want, like this, and that is the, you know, the range of when you're shooting. Obviously, having this little tension on it, it will just fly very, very short. Loading it a little bit more back, and it will fly longer. And the cool thing is that it's fully dynamic and act like you would think. You can even jump up in that wagon and shoot him through the wall here. That surprised me because I didn't even think that would happen. And without ammo I can even shoot it like this. Boom! And obviously that wasn't very far string, so... But everything works. Like in real life, or would have expected at least. So, really cool. This is how you shoot your friend over the enemies. So if he emotes... Do emotes while he's flying. He's flying with that emote. Let us shoot him over here then. Are you ready, guys? Do you want to see the magic? Look at this. Bam! And he's dead. And what's even cooler is that I can load it with a boulder and then him on top of it. And chicka bam bam bam! Triple ultra kill. So this is the first. This is the first where you see it, guys. This is it. Henrik, Nimbus launch you. I guess we could. I guess we could. That never gets old. So I didn't even think it supported the force on our player at this point. It surprised me as well, but it does. And I think this is how we're gonna hand it to you guys on the first PTR. And we have to see, test it and see. Does it make sense? Is it safe to have that function? You know? But it's pretty cool. Yeah, I guess I could let him throw me. But it's really cool. As you can see, we have the... Did I show you when... let me sit down again and load it. Did I show when... how you actually load it with boulders? It's really, really cool. I didn't load it fully back here, but just pull it down enough to show you the loading mechanics, because that's really cool. You need this tent with resources, and you take that boulder. Oh, or you take one of those spears to use in that machines, right? And then we have urns as well eventually, exploding fire urns. So you're gonna see the boulder runners here. The enemies is gonna be busy doing this, right? And then put them in the cage. And now, so obviously having teamwork doing this, you can shoot them very effectively. So you don't want to be alone, right? And I can load it a little bit more. Like so. This is maximum range. And you can see all these gears. They all work with logic, which is really, really cool. So, And then as I mentioned, this is just the stationary versions. In the next PTR we plan to have the mobile versions, which means you can be 4 people here holding handles, pushing it, and you can actually move it forward like a freaking car. Like a freaking car, guys! Come on, man! Come on! Will fire arrows be able to be used against houses? Yeah, we will add fire arrows later, and those will add additional damage to all wooden constructions mostly effectively. So obviously fire arrows will be quite effective against siege machines like this. Can shoot fireballs? No, but we have another type of boulder ammo, which is an urn filled with oil that we put on fire and then throw that, and it explodes. So you will see a lot of fire, you know, a lot of fire. Do bolts do damage to buildings? Yes, but way less than this. The bolts are very heavy on piercing. It destroys everything soft, and they're also quite effective against these siege machines. They break them. But obviously a stone boulder is most effective to sturdy buildings. An urn is also more wide away fire damage, I would say, with some blunts, but this is, you know. Pikachu! Chaboom! So yeah, quite the range on fully loaded. And it's even that far away that you can't see the impact of it. You have to go there to investigate the impact. Yeah, it does damage, but as I said, I'm too far away to see the message. It has a really good range on these babies. If I'm closer to this, for instance, where I can get the information on the houses, I will get the information. Ethic, are you crazy, man? This is a huge improvement from the first game, where it was boulder runnings, being standing there and doing nothing but clicking reload. Everything is fully logic functional here. Very depressive of you to write something stupid like that. Thank you, but goodbye, okay? Very disappointed on you. Very disappointed. Don't talk to Ethic. Okay. Rainbow panda? What? Ah, of course. The little panda cake. You know? This all looks so cool. I never seen anything on this depth when it comes to any MMO or Siege, for that matter. I mean, look at those Mordhau Siege machineries. They're more basic. They're not as cool, right? So I'm very impressed and happy with what the team managed to do to keep them quite believable, quite realistic, but still, you know, fun and cool. And everyone, the enemies can see what's going on, right? Am I loaded? Is he running with a boulder? Do you need to shoot the boulder runner? You know, stuff like that, which you couldn't see in the first game. So this is a huge improvement. Right, let's see if we can shoot me then. Fully loaded. So this is new as well, that you can actually, there's specific collision that you can walk on these things, which you couldn't before. Right, shall we do a little fly here? Let's fly. Alright. Holy shit, I managed to survive. I think that little corner pulled me down, or do I have magic armor? Quite impressive. Quite impressive. That's not good. Indeed. So these are the things, right? If you can fly over the gate and survive, then you know, it's balance things, important balance things that we need to test. Henrik the Invincible. Yeah, obviously we need to be very careful and test these things, right? If all it takes that you can shoot over an army past the walls, obviously something we need to make sure that that doesn't become the whole, that's how you get into someone's keep, right? Code it to be 100% fatal, but keep it in. Yeah, like I said, we need to absolutely look into this one to make sure we are secured. I think everyone agrees on that. But it's a cool thing that it actually, you know, throw you with that force. I didn't expect that really, actually. Can I have a trinkets? Ammo paratroopers. I mean, it's really cool. Like I said, I didn't expect it to work, but it actually throws you kind of like you would expect it to throw you. But yeah, I was quite surprised I managed to survive that fall. For sure, it's awesome. Where do you get the manganons? You get them by constructing a barrack and hire a quartermaster. That's how you get the deeds. How many people can you throw at once? I'm not sure actually. Probably a few if you line up on the tip. I guess, yeah. So you talk to the quartermaster.
Let me show you.
And you can buy these. So
Nice,
what's important here also, those drains a lot of prominence, right? They're expensive. So the owners needs to be careful and set access level. So enemy spies doesn't deplete them and run away. You know, so you can set a high rank and you know that my military rank 9 and upwards can access him, and therefore we rely on them buying the Ds for us. You see what I mean? Full control. Spy games, baby. All right. So they cost both golds and prominence. You can see this little crown. That means prominence.
Welcome back, anytime.
And yeah, this, if you missed this as well in an early stream, this is really cool. I really like this. And that is, you will see every single member of the guild, how they contribute with prominence. So if you have set up a goal for the entire guild that you work towards, you can see if someone is not contributing or doing his job. You will see last day, week, a month, and totally accumulated. And that contributes to the prominence here, right? So this is what you use to run the upkeep on all the services and buy certain things also. Yeah, we were fully aware of where there are a huge battle on the field. It's hard to identify friends from foes, right? And we do want to add a few different color types on the banners, so you can actually get different types of banners with different colors. So you could run as a team with one color, possibly separated from the other team members. And eventually we want the guild logo emblem system to allow you to wear that, and along with the die system to make it even more unique. So hopefully that will greatly help you to run as a group in fashion, right? Do you intend to buff bows like poison arrows buffing damage? So the first step we tend to do is add special ability moves, which also includes a special ability moves for archery. And we also have assassination profession that includes poisoning for certain types of arrows and daggers and other types of blades. So it depends on those steps that connects to that. You can steal siege weapons from players or just mount them. So if I'm not mistaken, anyone can jump up here, right? So if the enemies left this machine for you, you can mount it, you know? and use it wherever we want. So adrenaline system with buff melee and archery, will there be other information too? I'm not sure if that will apply in a good way for Magic, as Magic have their own school systems entirely unique to themselves, right? So initially the design only covers melee, all the melee groups, and ranged archery. There's nothing tying to Magic at this point. Should the catapult with the ballista? So I think the damage is off on the siege machines currently. I think I tried it before. I also have to load it with the bolts. So some of these numbers are not set yet, but yeah, we will shoot. Boop. Yeah. Right. Right in the stone. Okay, the ballista is very close to death. What did it have in hit points before I shot? I didn't even see. Did you see it, guys? Bow build don't work. It is tricky, right? And limited. Being a fully on foot bow build is hard. Yes, that's, you know. Like I said, there are gonna be 3 functions along with the special ability move system that will give them quite a lot more options to actually rely more on a foot archer. Why is Nimbus glowing? So this is on our internal test servers where we are mixing with specific commands and functions to be efficient when testing things. That is why it's glowing. Damage increase on Alvarines? Are you crazy? Alvarines are super popular as it is already, with very powerful clade and abilities that other clades doesn't have. So I'm not sure it's the right thing to buff one of the most popular build already. But I'm not sure about that. Love that you need a small crew to operate it. Yeah, for this to be effective, you need a small crew. So you can't just go anywhere in the world and place a ballista or a manganon. You need a siege tent to build, construct, and operate it also nearby. Like I said, we are getting mobile versions next, which means you will be able to move these around, but obviously you still have to, you know, transport the goods like you can see here. So you need to keep that in mind when it comes to operating these machineries. But yeah, it's really cool. I like it. I like it. Hey! Show the guards. Yeah, so bolts that have high piercing won't be effective against hard buildings and such. Everything's soft, and you will be able to make quite the damage against wooden siege machines also. Those are the numbers we're setting now as well. What do you got in those bags? My secret stuff. Can you fight your own guards? I mean, you can always attack them, right? There's nothing preventing you from attacking. Yeah, and engineering get a bonus when it comes to constructing siege stuff. I think I lowered my FOV because I was looking at the aim. Yeah, you see. I was at 90. Now you can see a little bit more what's going on around here. Yep. How cool is this? So as you can see, I can load halfway and still shoot it, even without ammo. But then it's also less of a force. This one needs the space for the actual bolt. I'm not sure if you can see it here. So what we've done in the next build is we slowed down the bolt velocity a little bit, and we're gonna add that little trail we have on arrows as well, so it's gonna be easier to see it, because it's very hard to see it right now from first person. When you stand on the side, you see it much easier, but it gets thin very quick. Let's see. Did you notice it, guys? Because I have a hard time seeing it when I'm shooting in first person. I must stand on this too when firing. I'm not sure if that's gonna work, because it's the rubber thing, right? Should I have people to crank the tension, the ballista? We thought about that, but at the same time, you know, we want to have some kind of fluidity and balance. If I shoot it, look down here, maybe. Let's see if we can see it. Yeah, I saw it just in the beginning. Did you see it, guys? But it should be a little bit slower and have that little trail, so it's a little bit easier to see it fly. Come on, Etik, are you crazy? What's going on? Have you been sipping the zip? This is a long-term commitment. A lot of work are being done and added, and this is a big component that we're gonna play around with years to come. So we better get it right. It's not about getting bored with waiting. I mean, we can't be children waiting. Oh, we want it now, we want it now. Of course we want it now. But we're adults, we do it right, and we take our time, we enjoy and make it happen, you know? You see what I mean? Let me shoot some... one pancake. Remember Crimson? Etik is the new Crimson. It's a hard replacement. Crimson take all prices in craziness when it comes to not having a single clue and, you know, room for understanding what's going on. It's his way or the highway. It's crazy. I mean, that's when you need to make your own game, when you have that mindset, because you're never going to enjoy anything else. That's just crazy. I haven't seen that degree since Crimson, guys, so I'm quite happy that we haven't. Right. So guild guards won't kill guild members even when you commit a crime. And that should include your pets, if I'm not mistaken, including ritual pets, if I'm not mistaken. I'm late to the part. What did I miss, Henrik? You missed everything, good boy. Yes. There's a lot that I've been showing currently, especially the siege machines, which is really awesome. Can you throw a pet? Can you drop it on cage and throw just the bag with the loot? Good question. I actually don't know if you can. Guess we could try it. Let's shoot this baby first. Ooh, ouch, booch, booch. All right. We could try shoot a bag. I have no clue if it works or not. Nimbus, do you hear us? Do you hear me? Can you drop a little loot bag up here in the little cage? I'm not sure if... Nah, I don't think it will work actually, because the loot bag's position doesn't work the same way as a player, so I doubt it, but yeah, I already got it confirmed, so yeah, it will stay in the same place. You can't shoot loot bags because they don't use active physics to fall, right? So that's why. Load a horse. Oh, how the hell do I load a horse? Save the horsey. That is a lot of damage, 100 shots to take down a small house. So there's a lot of factors to come to play here, right? The numbers are not really final, first off. So those most likely gonna be tweaked after PTR 1. And then depending on your city, if you build store, house, if you hold any towers, that will also greatly increases your defense value, which means those needs to be removed first, and then over time the defense value decay. So that is our siege window system rather than a set timer. There are those components that allows you to actually go above 100% defense value, which means you can't start the siege at all until you have start wrecking their defense lines. I'm not sure exactly how many stones you need for a boulder, but so as we mentioned before, it's more expensive for you to destroy a house than construct a house. So that's the general direction, right? So we want to make sure that there's no beneficial thing for a random group of players to go out in the wild and just destroy random houses. There's no profit in that, just a big waste of resources and money and prominence. So that's an important component. So obviously sieges are meant to be where it matters, right? These are your enemies. They are here are space and land space that you want to occupy or remove or clean. That's when you can have that commitment and it's worth that investment. There's also, so there's a cooldown on when you destroy something. There's a cooldown where the owners can access the stuff, but after a certain time, it's free for all. I fully loaded it. What happens if we go over? We can shoot it here, I think. Let's see, I think it goes over, right? Yep, went straight over. So if you have allies here on the wall and say, shoot, we have enemies on that direction. You know, if I'm lucky as hell, I may hit their freaking siege tents or whatever. Long as timer, will it be feasible to camp the building until it wears off, or is it like 48 hours? So the defense value goes slowly down over time when the supplies have been cut. So the more time it goes, the more damage you deal, right? Shoot Nimbus with the boulder. He will be destroyed if I do that. Destroyed. So yeah, you know, expect the numbers not to be final. And as I mentioned, depending on the defense value, you can go above 100% on a house, which means you can't destroy it with a catapult if you don't cut the supplies. So that is the first component. Obviously, if it's just a house without any supplies, you can take it down, but it may be a few catapults and resources, which means it's going to cost more to destroy that house than construct the house, and there's no beneficial. You can't instantly loot it or gain money from destroying a house. But how cool is this, that you can pick up the boulders and you run with the boulders to place them. Pretty cool, eh? And you can drop it if you don't make it. Are those Utens on a breeding ground? Those are shooting horses. You can practice your aiming on those horses. So any house, you can't instantly loot it, and you can't loot it all. So it goes into a rubble state where the owner have access, and then everyone has access before it's completely decays and removes. Love the horse, don't shoot it. Yeah. I mean, there are good practicing animals, you know. Shall we not demonstrate the force of a bolt? Or what do you think? What do you think? It's really good, Henrik. Thank you, Dudakai. Can you explain more about supply towers and how they work? Yeah, can go through a little bit. So as I mentioned before, we are in the middle of working on a manual that we're gonna put on a website. Should I boulder on them? I can try should I boulder on them. So we're gonna put that manual on the website so it's more clear for everyone to read up on exactly how it works, right? But yeah, one moment. Let's see if we can. We can't shoot too far to hit them. Let's see. Maybe a little bit more like this. What do you think? What do you think, guys? So this is something you have to practice, become a master on how much you load it to aim on something on certain ranges. I'm not very good at this point, as you can see. I'm experimenting with it. So, but let's see, maybe a little bit more, like so. Let's see. Hey! Oh, no, too short. Too short. Need a little bit more. Maybe here. Let's get a boulder. All right. Let's go. Hey! Nah, too short again. Too short. Come on, we need a little bit more power. Like maybe here. Let's try. God damn! Was it too short again? I can't see depth. I can't see depth. Okay, we need almost past the moon then, like here. Okay, this is it. This is it. God damn it! We got him. 61,200. Right in the horsey. Yeah, depth. You need to practice this, right? You need to practice it. That's for sure. So you can become a master. A master of aiming. Sound. It's heavy. A little horsey. A little horsey. And then we have the manganon. Okay, let's wanna shoot one bolt also. Can you shoot yourself? How would I shoot myself? Let's see. God damn it! Do you see I got two of them? Punched the one, threw the other one, bam down, bam down. We got a rail gun. So yeah, when there's an army lined up, just penetrate them. How do I shoot myself, turkeys? I'm curious. My time is near. Hit Nimbus in his armor with the boulder. We need to see if it does 2 damage again. I mean, it depends if we have a godly armor or not, right? But no, I mean, the damage range on the boulder is so high that you're most likely gonna die. And like I said, we may tweak these numbers, right, based on the first PTR. But a boulder kills on hit. A bolt kills most things on hit, depends on if it's, you know, if you hit in a leg and you have heavy armor, you could survive. Is ballista hit scan weapon? No, it's a real projectile, a real bolt. In this patch, it's actually a little bit too fast. You can't really see it very clearly. So in this next build we have on for tomorrow, the projectile is slowed down a little bit, and we're also trying to add this little rail that makes it a little bit easier to see him, so you see what's going on. Mercy but wise. You're crazy, man. You're crazy. How high up and how low down can you shoot? So quite high, right? Wait, I need more tension. Yeah, so this is the top right now, which means if you have it in a proper range, you will be able to shoot up at the highest towers. As you can see. And it's also where it kind of hits itself down. Damn, it's getting dark now. It's like this. Can you see, guys? But quite far down. Will there be naval combat? I mean, we need the ships first, right? But eventually, yes, absolutely. So bolts doesn't do much damage against buildings. It's more meant for soft targets and other siege machines and such. While the catapults, manganon as we call it, with the heavy boulder type, the normal boulder, it does maximum damage towards sturdy targets such as buildings. And then we have another ammo type that is an urn with oil in it, which explodes on impact and spread a lot of fire. What is your favorite weapon and handling game, Henrik? Oh, I'm not sure which one I would pick. I mean, I enjoy both swords and axes, and in circumstances, hammers. I mean, spears also. There's some love for all of them, I would say, and daggers too. Which new structures will be available for small house owners? Pretty much everyone, except just a very few, I think. It all comes down to the radius, right? So a small house only have a small radius around it, so you can't place too many buildings around it. You can upgrade it a little bit also, but we want it to be a logical step. Now, if you want to commit to a little village city, you need to go a little bit larger, right? Can you play siege rep camps anywhere in the world? Do they have an uptime? So any siege weapon are saved in database. So if you construct it there and no one destroys it, it's gonna remain there, right? Until someone destroys it. There's quite a few rules surrounding siege machineries, and that is that you need to construct a siege tent, and in that radius you can construct a siege machine. And that also holds the components and ammo to operate them. You will get a mobile version soon also in the next PTR, which means you will be able to push these around like a little slow moving car if you have the manpower to it, which is really cool. Then obviously we have a little bit more advantages, tactical advantages, but you still have to operate loading them, right? So it means there should be a siege tent nearby or they will not be used. Where can you buy a siege tent? You buy them from the Quartermaster if you construct a barrack, like this building here. There's a quartermaster in here. Let me show you. Oops. So you construct a barrack, and we will have a quartermaster that you talk to.
I have what you're looking for.
And he sell you the siege tent deeds, supply tower deeds, ballista deeds. The price is wrong here. It's meant to be 120 gold. And the other is prominence. Where do you buy the barrack and quartermaster? So you will be able to buy that from certain NPCs. So we obviously there's a lot going on with TC, right? So we are currently putting together a community-friendly manual for TC that we're gonna put on the website very soon, and that's gonna cover all the questions when how do you start with TC, where do you obtain all the basics. So it's gonna be clear for and ready for when you jump in on PTR. Yeah, we already hit the 2-hour mark, guys. Time is flying when you are playing. What is the gold spellbook? So this is our internal test server where we have some crazy stuff in gear to speed up things and test things. So yeah, that's what it is. Why not spacebar between the prices for good looking? Yeah, so obviously there are sessions where we can fine tune and refine, beautify, I would say, stuff such as that, right? I agree. And it comes to a lot of the different things. A lot when it comes to UI. We actually have a new guy on the UI function that is just got into it, learn the basics, and it's a little bit pain in the ass to work with the UI in Unreal Engine. As you can see, there's spaces and such where it goes out a little bit. A beautify pass absolutely is needed on certain things, right? But what's important is that we have the functions and we can test the things so we can get it right. Can you show the two keep camps? Keep camps? What do you mean with keep camps? Is access for all TC buildings? Yes. Because remember, this guy sells very valuable deeds and it have a hefty cost, both in gold and prominence, as you can see, and there's going to be different things, which means if you're a low rank person and you're a spy and want to sabotage and you don't have control over that, then obviously any noob can run in there and deplete. Because look here, in the territory you have the territory's prominence, treasury and so on, and if anyone can use that, then obviously you can cause mayhem and chaos for your territory and guild. So it's very important that the owners sets access rank for the certain services they have in the city to make sure they have control over things. And this is where all the guild rank comes more into play, right? Alliances, public non-murderers, and everyone, or guild from 1 to 10, as you can see here. So you have very good control over all the different services in your city. So yeah, it's pretty cool, and we are 1 week away, guys, until you will play around with this, and we can start, refining and getting those numbers hopefully in a good position. All right, I mean, is there any other buildings that we want to take a look on? We have the stable here with the equerry. So the new stable that comes with the stable, and we have the, where is the print access? God damn it, I can't barely see. Here it is. So all buildings come with this access where you will set, again, who should access this. So a very important management control for your city. So you can have certain buildings where only your guild have access, and certain buildings that are public for everyone, and so on. Show the 2 supply camps out front. Which one do you mean? You mean the supply lines? Denny? Don't know if your system sounds... Too late. I have the system sound to let you hear Mortal as well. What do you mean? Do you mean the supply lines outside or what? Oh, and guys, we have a new map. Do you want to see it? It's missing the city locations, the names, but we have a new map because we wanted to make more sense, and it's gonna be able to helpful when it comes to TC control, your city and kingdom, and eventually down the road we can expand on that with some cool stuff. But bam! Here is the new map. This is the area of my kingdom. As you can see, I have taken all the kingdom in the world. And that is my area, and I can zoom in quite a bit. Here I have a little my friend with his kings, and here is me with Star Voltia. The colorful forest, and you will see Tinram with a nice little font, blue Tinram city, and all the other blue cities, and you will have Kranish as a red, Galkor as a red city. So a nice improved map which shows height variation as well, and hopefully help a little bit for the players to see where they are in the world and navigate a little bit better. Why circles in different sizes? It's your kingdom, with it, which is in different sizes depending on your guild ranks, and if it's a house or a keep or stronghold. Very nice. Glad you like it. They put a hell of a job into this map, because this map have been made in a very certain way to still be, you know, obviously a true map, but also makes sense to show the different height and variation, and also the different vegetation. So I'm quite happy with the result. It looks really nice. And as I said, you can zoom in quite a lot. So a really nice overview. I threw my map away. You will have access to this. Can we see that it looks like when they start overlapping? Yeah, so certain things can, and so for instance, if you are a keep owner, you have no limitations. So eventually you can dominate the whole freaking region until your radius hits another keep radius. As soon as they collide, they stop growing, and it's up to the players to, you know, act if they want to shrink the enemies or whatever they want to do, right? Yeah, this is real time, so I can see my kingdom grow over time. There are certain things that we want to have a secret where you have to spy and, you know, figure out and scout for certain things. But when it comes to your kingdom and your growth, you will have a good overview. Yes, the keep goes through other areas, not just other keep owner radius. So that's where it conflicts. And we're looking to add this little nice, cool, detailed 3D map in for the city builders as well as something. We will see if we can do something cool, but I think this is a really good upgrade to the map to show, obviously, everyone can benefit from, you know, you see more clearly where you are in the world, or can easier navigate to see, you know, where things may be, and it helps to show your kingdom. So yeah, I'm happy with the new map. I'm glad you guys liked it as well. And if you missed this is actually a really nice feature. I really like this, where it shows your guild members contribution to your territory guild. As you can see here, we show last day, last week, and month, and total accumulated. So if you set up a goal for your guild and group and everyone needs to contribute to a certain amount, you can keep track on them here. You know, we're not happy with Momo. Yes, we are. We're not happy with Kim Pol because he haven't done a job, man. He haven't done a job. He only gave us 133 prominence. We're not happy with that. So you're gonna get the whip or the ship. So this contributes to your territory prominence. And if you want to upgrade from your little village, you start as a small thing and then you grow into a powerful kingdom. You will need to upgrade them and fulfill the prominence requirements and supply towers requirements. And that can be tricky depending on other people around your areas. So here contribute to that. So that's really, really cool. Really, really cool. We are working with guild issues and bugs. Some of the thing we struggle with is when we can't really easily reproduce something. And we just have to blindly go all over the code base and try to figure out what's causing this, right? So very inconvenient type of bugs when we can't just reproduce it easily. But the guys are doing everything they can to have those things solved as soon as they can. Show the map again. A lot of cool stats here, guys. A lot of cool stats. So the new map, and you can zoom in quite a lot, as you can see here. We don't like the kings. They're trying to occupy around here, you know, trying to occupy middle areas. So you know, we need to take care of them. Take care of them. Uprising. Yeah. Is that the Team Docs implemented with TC? No, we're not implementing city updates along with TC. Only TC stuff. Can you show how the supply lines work? So yeah, I can take it in short. So there are 3 types of supply assets that any city builder or guild can obtain. There are 2 sets of buildings which is called the supply lines that are exclusive for keep owners only, and you're already seen those buildings. You know, outside of every keep location there are 2 small camps, right? You've probably seen them. Those are the supply lines that are only accessible by the keep owners. They can have them connected to the keep, or they can have them lost by enemies, which means they get disconnected to the keep owners. And then everyone in city building and guilds can construct something we call a storehouse, which acts a little bit similar to a supply line, but you freely construct it wherever you want. It needs to be on your influence of area. That's the only rule. And the third one is supply towers. We have put out around 60 towers across this whole entire map. So there's always a few near your base. And you can go there and construct them and put the banner on them, which means they're connected to your base, your territory. And all of these supply line buildings offer a defense value to your city structures. There may be other bonuses later on as well. That is some cool stuff we're looking into. But the baseline is a defense value that is very important, because this is also how we kind of solve Ninja Siege and the Siege window system to make that more refined. I mean, on in jungle, we have them quite evenly spread out. So you will see that they're quite even over the entire map. So similar range amount of towers spread out. And you can go and grab any one of these towers. And when you have them under your control, they will be listed here, as you can see. Supply towers is also a requirement to upgrade your guild. In this case, you can see we have 2 out of 3 towers. So I can't upgrade the guild at this point. I haven't met this requirement. So, and as I mentioned, they add to your city defense value. So if you have a lot of these, you can go above 100 defense value, which means you can't be sieged. That's how you have full protection. But obviously that's going to be tricky to always have high defense value, because that means you occupy a lot of these, right? So the enemies, the first natural step would be to identify your supply structures and obviously destroy them and keep them down. Because when that happens, the owner's defense value slowly decays over time and eventually completely depleted from those bonuses, which means now you're quite vulnerable for being sieged, right? So that is our improved siege system that should give the players a better heads up and better preparation, better indication that a siege is approaching, rather than we woke up, everything is gone. Not really fun. So a very important system that we hope to get in a really good position. Obviously the numbers may be off. That's something we need your input in also during the first PTR to tweak those numbers. But yeah, it doesn't require a lot to reach 100%, especially for a keep owner if you have both supply lines, a storehouse and a few towers. But obviously when you lose those, that's when defense goes down. What about strongholds? Same thing there. You can build a storehouse next to your stronghold and you can claim as many towers as you want, and those will add the defense value in a similar way, which means you can't be sieged if you're above 100% defense value. But as soon as you start losing your supplies, you become more and more vulnerable for damage. So yeah, I think it's a great improved system from our old system, and it's also not a pure clone of other games where there is a timeline, hard line where you can attack or not attack. We weren't really fond of that. That doesn't really speak Mortal Line, right? So I think this is a really nice in-between solution that fits better our game world. So we just need to get those numbers right. So yeah, this is our first draft when we deploy next week, the PTR. And we're gonna, hopefully you guys gonna help us playing around with the supply lines and sieging a little bit to see, you know, where we are. Where do you see the 100% defense power? There's a few things missing. That's gonna make it more clear. I don't think it's on this build. But yeah, we need to show the bonus in a convenient way. Um, 740. Oof. What? 740? What do you mean? City upkeep 20k gold. So this should be in copper, if I'm not mistaken. So you have to add, you know, 2 decimals is silver and 2 more is gold, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, so these things will be clarified to show when they are charged and currency. Yeah. So it's like the only tremendously powerful guilds will have possibility to siege. It will eventually become paralyzed map like in Evil Line. I'm not sure about that, because you can't obviously only hold the entire world as a large guild. You know, it's not. I mean, if you it's hard to imagine, but we're talking about 60 towers. And that means even a small guild near a tower can probably hold that at all time. And it will be hard for a large guild to reach out that far and keep holding those towers. So sometime, you know, it's harder obviously to hold so many towers, right? Anyone can hit and steal a tower without too much effort. You can see the tower a little bit like capture the flags. You don't need to heavy siege a tower it won't take a lot of time, and you don't need to spend a fortune to construct your tower to connect it to your territory. So those will wander, I would say, quite hefty between random groups, guilds from small to large. But I mean, just like in any other game, you know, there's always a strength in numbers when it comes to raw power, right? But obviously we're trying to make sure that it's always going to be a huge challenge to fully destroy something, and it comes with a huge commitment rather than trying to defend and uphold something. How do we get that map? You will have this upgraded in the PTR patch, and we'll also see the NPC city nations outlined in a very nice way, the blue cities and the red cities. So this is a nice little upgrade that you're gonna have in PTR as well. We don't have the alliance chat at this point, but we are hoping we can get that eventually. Supply tower protect all the alliance or just the guilds? Just the guilds. So that's also something you have to, you know, arrange. You can't both hold them. We saw some unfairness when that could be beneficial for both sides, and it could become a mess. So it's for one guild only. A guild level is permanent. No, you can actually go down in rank by being destroyed in certain ways. So you have to work your way up again, if I'm not mistaken. I myself need to go back on the manuals to read on some of it, because there's so much on so many plans and fields that it's sometimes tricky to keep track on everything. So that's why we're putting together a nice little manual for you guys, and we will have it on the website so you can read up on it and prepare. Expect one big alliance controlling everything in 6 months. Well, like I said, they have to split them up, right? You won't hold them all, at least. But I mean, again, there is a strength in numbers, and it's a sandbox, right? It's up to the players. But what's interesting is that we already, over time, we've always seen so many different groups and guilds doing things, and there will also be some beneficial things to have, to not just be too many in one group, where, you know, it can be equally efficient to be one small group accessing certain areas. But yeah, you know, it's hard to say. Obviously, if all the players decide to play together, you know, what's stopping them, right? You have to run ammo up to the top of a stronghold if it has a blist on top. So yeah, so that's some of the tricky points, right? If you can't have a siege tent up here, then yeah, you need to run them up, which can make them a little bit less efficient, right? Could be that we see, you know, a big demand for ammo rack where you can place them in a little nice rack next to it, so you can have it prepared. Maybe something like that, a little bit quality of life and additional options. Again, there's a lot of room, and I'm sure you guys gonna come up with a lot of good suggestions and quality of life over time, that if we agree to those things, those may also get into upcoming TC upgrades in the future. Now it's important we get the baseline done in a good way, the new systems that we lacked in the first game, and make sure all of that is good and solid. And then there's endless room for adding additional services, features, and you know, whatever that may be. Can I see you shoot ballista? Yeah, I've run a few times. I can make a quick short run before. Yeah, shit, we need to proceed with giveaways and such. I'm already overdue. But we will do like before, a little recaps. You can always, if you miss things, you can watch it, and we try to highlight good bits. Tension. And I can move it. Load. Really, really cool. Really, really cool. The bolt is already slowed down in the next build, and there's going to be a little trail on it because it's quite hard to see now. And you see this steel thing? It covers the bolt, so you can barely see it's being loaded in first person, which we're going to change as well. So we're going to remove parts of that so you can actually see it, because yeah, You see it's not loaded there. Run to a little siege tent, and you don't grab the boulder, you grab the bolt, which is really cool. We have a little explosion there. That's not gonna be there, but you know that. Anyway, load it here. Now you can see the tip here. So obviously you wanna have friends when running these efficiently. Then you aim, and then you chicka-boom! Boom! And that's how you shoot them. And the manganon catapult is the same way. It's already loaded, so let's shoot it. One moment, I'm gonna start the giveaway in just after I shut this thing. Same thing here, you see all the gears rotating with the tension just like you would expect. And you load this less if you want shorter range, and you load it more obviously if you want longer range. So that's how you control it. Let's shoot it here. Bam! It's something behind there. I wanted to hit this roof. It's so lovely when we destroy it. Let's see if we can have a shorter range on it. Something like that maybe. Do I have a boulder runner? We do. We got a little boulder runner. Place it up here, please. Thank you. Chicka-boom! Yes! Do you see the roof? It's crumbling down like a little mouse. So that's how you do it. Alright? Alright? Let me start this little thing. Mouse, don't crumble. You know, when I feel the power, sometimes I make those expressions that doesn't make sense. But you know what I mean, right? You know what I mean. In MO2, mice crumble. Indeed. Clink. The Nimbus is lifting. Yep. Alright, guys. So that's a little pre-taste of what you're gonna play around with next week already, guys. And that's how the mice crumble. Holy shit, this looks awesome. It is really awesome. It is really awesome. And we're refining, fine-tuning things now, the last step. And yeah, it's gonna be awesome to get the first round next week. Yeah, exactly in 1 week. So on Wednesday, my next stream, we're gonna start the PTR together. Me and Sebastian gonna follow the process and collect as much of stuff as going down. It's the first time we do a PTR, right? So we don't know if there's gonna be any unforeseen madness or chaos, but we're gonna be here following through the progress. Have you showed us moving the machines yet? No, so these are the stationary ones only with the spring tension to do the rotation. So if you see you see the handle there slowly goes up again, right? That's the spring tension. So it doesn't magically move. There's some explanation behind it. You can see it on these big gears as well. See, the gears even move different depending on what. If I go to left or right. It's highly sophisticated and believable. And eventually the spring tension runs out, as you can see here now, any second now. Let's see. Maybe we want to add a sound where it runs out so it makes it more clear, because I actually missed, right? It just goes silent. And I forgot. Ah, that's right, we have a tension, right? So maybe a little cling where the tension is out, and I have to pull it up again to have new tension. Really cool. And in the next version, we're going to have the sticks going out here, and we're going to have the wheels, which means if I have 4 friends, they take place, and I can now move it any direction forward, wherever I want. And if there's only 2 people running, it's going to be half the speed. So really cool, really cool. Is next week's stream same time or earlier? I'm not entirely sure yet. We're going to announce when it's time. We may start earlier because it's always good to have the coders in place during work day to make sure if there's something going totally crazy that prevents us from continue, we need to patch something. It's good to do that early, right? Because we want to take the opportunity to make use of the testing days for TC as efficiently as possible. So most likely earlier, but we're gonna announce when. How do you gain territory around a small medium house? You're gonna, there's a little thing you're gonna buy and upgrade in your house guild that allows you to get that first radius around your house. All of this is gonna be explained in the manual that we're gonna place on our website very soon. So you get the explanation of how to get going. We don't have any battery ramps yet, but we plan to add them later. We have design on some cool battle ramps that we're gonna use that are, we call them the wall breakers, right? Or door breakers. So later. We'll be able to have logs for strongholds and guild banks in place when these are deployed in the main world. Logs for banks. No, there's no log for the players, but you have full control. I don't know if you noticed the individual service house control that you're given with TC. If you missed it, I can show again. So this is the Quartermaster, which has very important values that you don't want any noob to deplete your treasury of. So you set the control here. Everyone, if you don't care, right? Or a low rank up to a high rank, if you know, everyone shouldn't be playing around with this, because a noob could deplete your prominence if you give this to everyone. That would make your enemies happy, right? So you would obviously give them a high rank, or if it's something you would share with your alliance or public non-murders, you don't want to give it to murders, you can set that also. So this gives you a perfect control. You just need to, you know, make sure you set the correct access per service that you get in TC. Whereas the access for only murders, that will be for your guild only, right? These are all houses. Yes, because every house now may have some very important services that may cost or contribute in different ways. So you will have the control. Same for stables, banks, and everything pretty much. So yeah, all buildings have these base functions. You know. Murders only option, please. But I don't see where you will need a murder only when you can set that for your guild already, right? That's more if you want a public friendly open city running successful, make a profitable city, growing, becoming, you know, known for that, and you have public friendly guards to protect the city. Then that's where you need the non-murders, right? But if you want to have anyone, then you click everyone or set the guild's rank, right? Yeah, public. Explain what each rank is. So in a guild you can set all these ranks on to your members. So, and since we have so many different things and it's growing, we want to make sure that you can decide that, you know, so you have to coordinate with your guilds that, okay, now we are building this city. How do we set up all the military access, all the valuables, you know, access, and you will decide that, okay, we give this to rank 6, 7, 8, or whatever you want to do, or if it's something common for alliances and so on. And there may be something, if you want to have an open city, you may want to have access for that for some of those, because you benefit if there are citizens using your services. You can take taxes and benefit from that, so you have to consider that as well. So that's up to you to define where you set the different rules. So it's in your hands. It makes it interesting. My personal houses are still a personal house where you can have your chest, your items, you have your lock and door on it, right? So you still have that. This is just giving you the tools to live out in the wild and, you know, be able to do everything you would in any NPC city, have the same services if you build them and supply them, and you can run a successful city open to the public and benefit greatly from that. So so this is if you want to build TC things. Obviously, if you just want your little house with your little bench or whatever, you can still have that and ignore all this. But this gives you all the opportunity to run your own city, successful or not, and set up your own rules and access. All right, shall we do the giveaway, guys? I'm running high over our... So, explanation mark MO2. I'm gonna start up the... It is started. Giveaway time. Let's give it a minute, and then we're rolling it. And yeah, if you just tune in, we'll do a little recap of this video and post it on our website as soon as you can after the stream. And you can always, we'll try to highlight some of the things, and you can take a look. But I mean, we're only a week away now from the first PTR ever, and you're gonna get all of this to play around with yourself. Look at this. Look at this strong guy. Looks so cool when you can see the ammo runners this time around, which you couldn't in the first game. So really cool to see when they are loading the machines. It's cool. It's cool. Let's take this bolt. Bolt, I meant. I'm not even showing you guys. Sorry about that. So this is... I took a boulder from the siege tent for this machine. And there's pumping... Nimbus pumping with the boulder. And now I can always drop the ammo if I'm having an enemy coming close. I have to drop it, and can pick up my weapon and bam, 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 chicka bam, chicka bam. Hey, 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 hey. Yeah, I know I can carry the boulder and bolts and move slowly. But yeah, the mechanic is really cool behind these machineries. They all move and have some logical sense, which is really cool. They made an awesome job constructing them. Would you hop on that real quick? I missed it. I can hop up on it while we give people a moment to... Tension gear here needs to be elevated because, as you can see now, we're moving it around. That tension gets slowly depleted. You load it, pulling this back, and you can you can pull it a little bit, and you can pull it a little bit more or fully. So that determines the strength of when you're shooting something. Now I haven't loaded it with a boulder, so when I'm shooting empty, as you can see. Pretty cool, eh? And now he's coming with a bolt for me, so now he can load it for me effectively. So obviously having a little squad running ammo will make it more effective. And now I can shoot. I don't have any animals left to showcase them on, but... Damn! I hit a priest. So bolts will be effective against any soft targets and other machineries. When it comes to making more damage against hard targets, obviously this is the machinery. Similar mechanics, you mount it here. They are both stationary. We're gonna have the mobile in PTR2 is the plan currently. Low retention to be able to move around like this. You can see the gears moving accordingly. You can load it a little bit to have a little arc. You load it more to let it fly longer, right? Like so, load it. Aim and shoot. Hey. And we got a hit. So that's pretty much straightforward how you operate the machineries, the stationary ones. And then you need a siege tent to construct them and supply the ammo like this boulder runner is doing here. And what's really cool is that it's so dynamic that it even surprises with a function where you can actually stand here and you will fly along with it, which is pretty cool. Pretty cool. But as mentioned, we talked about it later, we need to verify that that doesn't become the new tactic of, you know, going inside enemy base. Is it double damage if I throw a fat mage? I mean, it's actually cool. We tried it in a moment ago and I didn't even think it would work. But yeah, he stood here and we shoot both of them. And it looked pretty epic, I have to say. Quite hard to aim here. Quite far there with full load. Full load. Will damage ring affect siege machine damage? No. Looks like fun. It is really cool actually. It's a sandbox Henrik. Let us fly through the air with the siege weapons. Yeah, I mean, I kind of like that it works and it just looked epic. The only thing is that when I tried it, I managed to survive an insane range. And that could cause issues, you know. That becomes the new made of going passing walls. I mean, so we want to make sure we have that under control, right? Let's see. Aim! Did I hit him? Did I hit him? I'm not sure. Do he carry the epic armor again or what? Probably could be needed. Hey! Hey! Got a full hit on him, and it looks like he was gibbed. He exploded, guys. He exploded. Too far. Yeah, this was a better hit. And he got squashed. Squashed. So a very powerful weapon if you learn how to aim, that is. I'm not a master of aiming with the siege yet. I mean, when it comes to range and such, track the angle on everything, that's part of the PTR now. Now it follows real life calculations and it looks natural. If everyone still think that is too short and is a problem, you know, we can always give it a little bit more force, but the baseline is realistic calculations on everything, more or less. And then we'll have to see what kind of tweaks we may need or not. So yeah. Alright, 10 more seconds for the giveaway, guys. Exclamation mark Emma2, and I'm rolling it because I'm running overdue for today's stream here, I see. There's an AOA splash damage on the boulder, so you don't have to have exact hits, just within the effects. So yeah, really cool, really fun to play around with these machineries, and it works really, really well. So it's gonna be fun to see what you guys do with it as well. Spring tension runs out. I need to load it again, and I can move again. Really cool, really cool. I like it. Small, nice details. And I can load it a little bit, and I can shoot it. Not very heavy, not very heavy. I can load it a little bit more and shoot it. Got a little bit more, eh? And then I can obviously load it fully. Got a full spring. Like so, and then chicka-boom. That's how I do it. That's how I do it. I don't think it's loud enough. Should be audible from miles and miles away. So we're already expanding the hit impact range sounds, because yeah, they're a little bit short. When you shoot them over there, I think you should still hear it quite impactful, but it's barely you barely hear it on that range. So yeah, we are already expanding that on the next build. But again, that's again, we want to find a sweet spot, so I'm sure you're gonna help us fine-tune quite a few things here. I'm not sure exactly how many. So how it works is that you construct a siege tent, and you can add resources in that tent, and that's how I got them constructed, to pull them from the front. And every time you pull it out, it takes from the resources and the hit points goes down. So you need to keep adding resources to keep it running, right? And that's also part of the balance, how efficient that should be and so on. Yeah, it will always be a higher investment in cost to destroy rather than build. And that is because we don't want random siege to happen just for the lulz. You know, we want a growing world with cities and people building and wanna build and be out in the world. But if everyone is losing them left and right when they're asleep, we're not gonna have it anymore. So that's why we want to make sure that when you commit to a siege, there should be a meaningful for it. If you wanna steal a relic, you wanna destroy enemies, that's where you invest the cost, right? And yeah, like I said, the supply defense system will help a lot with the siege window system as well. I'm not sure if you fit a siege tent and a catapult up a stronghold roof, so you can have it all there. These walls fits the machines at least, so you can have them on the walls. But yeah, transporting ammo is obviously a big question, and it could be that later on we need to add like a ammo rack or something, so you can store and run a bunch and have it pre-prepared for any encounters. Stuff like that we can expand on later on. Yeah, we want to add fire arrows as soon as we can, but it won't be initially in. Right, it's time for the giveaway, guys, before we get too deluded here. Let me go back and show you the giveaway. It is time. Good luck, everyone. Here goes. Let's go. Let's see if he's here. Rice cooks. Let's see. Let's see. Are you here? He is. There he is. Why so loud? What is loud? All right, let me grab that key. One moment. Where do we have it? Here. Can you respond to my DM Rice Cooks and I will give it a key. Send you a little DM. So as a new player, how does this affect me? What part do you mean? TC. There are Rice Cooks. Are you a MO veteran, MO1 veteran, or MO2 veteran, or are you new to the game? I'm always curious. Rice Cooks won the giveaway. The giveaway lounge is very loud. Ah, okay, the music for that thing. Alright, right. I will try lower it the next time. Maybe I can lower it already. I'm not sure how the hell I... Okay. It will be lower next time, alright? Alright, that's the giveaway, guys. So that was pretty much all I had to show you a little bit on our internal test server. TC stuff, and we're only 1 week away, guys, so you're gonna get your hands on it very soon. Hey, stream Henrik, Snubber out. Thank you, and see you later, Snubber. Will there be a PvE option for the game in the future? No, it will always be an open world, but what will change and be added to the game for Epic Game release later this year is high security at all starting locations, and surrounding them there will be some nation influence and security. And further out, it will go into no man's land, which means nullsec, pretty much like in Eve, and there's no consequences there. So, and there's going to be an update to the criminal system as well to make things more clear, and there will be a little bit more enforced consequences to be a pure murderer. So hopefully it will help with the balance in the world and give meaningful interactions and meaningful PvP where for those that want it, and those that want to avoid it can try to avoid it to a certain degree. But there will never be a restriction when you can't attack, but you know, there will be some updates to this whole system. Epic Games, is it going to be free? No, it's just that we launched the game on Epic Games. It's like a re-release phase where we start everything again with marketing and influencers, Twitch drop, everything that we kind of had prepared for the Steam launch that we had to pause. And that's also when we have those missing components that the majority wants from the game and needs from the game. And that's where we, kick things off marketing wise, and also start the free month. After free month, there will be a subscription based model to also clean up the game a little bit, hopefully, and also how we can support it to grow with hopefully a growing healthy player base. How far out are the nullsec areas? Would jungle be considered nullsec? I'm not 100% sure where we draw those lines, but there will be plenty of nullsec, and there should be a decent amount of nation influence areas. Sub will be $14 regional pricing, so the standard's a little bit less than even WoW in those games. Yeah, there are mage stuff in the Mage Emporium. We will have access to balistas and ammo in keep itself or just courtyards. Wherever you can place the siege tent, you will be able to retrieve the ammo, and you can place. I have to look into the siege tent placement rules there, if they are the same as the catapult, if they fit a roof, if they can be placed there or not. Haven't tried it, but as I said, there may be things where we made some more convenient functions, such as ammo rack that you can place next to those machineries on the roof and so on. We have to subscribe to play. So after the free sub that everyone gets when we do the epic release later this year, to continue playing after that, everyone needs a subscription active, yes. So until then, right now there's no subscription. You just have to buy the game and you can play as much as you want. When we release it on Epic Games, that's the plan where we start the free month, and after that a subscription is required. And that is for many good reasons that we all have discussed quite a bit on past streams. I also think we have a section of why on our website. And it's for the players and for the gaming experience rather than other business models such as pay to win, locked content, and sacrificing stuff for fluff and rainbows. Instead, we want the same for everyone and a proper gaming experience at a set low fee rather than trying to get people to pay a lot more to be competitive in those so-called free-to-play games. So hope that makes sense. You will subscribe from our website. We are using world-leading payment providers, so it goes via their website, which the majority of the world shop uses, because, you know, obviously we want to make sure that we don't have any personal information, no security on our end. That could be a problem. So we rely heavily on world-leading payment providers that will offer worldwide different paying methods. All right, guys. What about people who work 60 hours a week? What do you mean? Whenever you're free, you can play if you want, right? I mean, there's no requirement to play more or less. That's up to what people want and can. We will have some hefty discounts on commitment. So if you know this is a game for you, you can choose 3, 6 months or even a year, and we will make the commitments even better deal. But I mean, we need to pay all the servers, upkeep, development team, support and everything. So obviously somehow we need to cover the expenses, right? To keep expanding. Work 6 hours, say goodbye to your girlfriend and other hobbies. I mean, this is why we added the cost and siege system to make sure that if you just play casually and you want to just have your own house somewhere in the world, you shouldn't be afraid of you may risk losing it one day, because there's no reason for anyone to go siege a random house that they don't, you know, no reason to siege a random house out in the world, just a big cost and process to go through it for no reason, right? So sieging is for where there are enemies, right? And want to claim each other's keep locations or whatever that may be, or if you have created any enemies in the world, then obviously that could be a thing also. Yeah, but you know they will. I mean, it depends on obviously the cost, right? If they need to grind the crap out of things and don't benefit anything and think that's not really fruitful because they can have more meaningful, fun, real war with other guilds and tower conflicts where they actually have a lot of fun, you know, hopefully that's where they're gonna spend their gaming time rather than doing something, you know, that doesn't make sense. But of course, there may be some craziness that don't want to have fun and do something expensive, non-profitable, stupid thing, you know, that's something we can't really fully prevent, right? You say the same thing about killing Graveyard? Yeah, but we don't have the proper consequences there, and we will have with Epic Game functions that we are adding to the game. Like I said before, they're going to be high security, higher consequences, and we're updating the criminal system and the murder system a little bit. So that will not be a thing anymore after the Epic patch. And yeah, for good reasons, right? As I said, those that want PvP should have meaningful, fun, exciting, challenging PvP opportunities, starting with TC already. And shouldn't bothering with stupid things like that. Sub is dead, that's why nobody's playing WoW anymore, bro. You mean the most played MMO in all history and still growing strong after their new releases, which is extremely successful every time they do a release, even though they said the game is dead, and they re-awake it with insane amount of profits and players every time they release a expansion. I'm not sure where you get those facts though. Doesn't sound accurate, ethic. And the subscription model isn't extremely well used and popular anymore, no. But if anyone examine the pay to win versus a subscription based model, anyone that want a quality game chooses the subscription one easily over the other one, because if you want to be competitive in a free-to-play game, you need to spend more than $14 a month, and you're going to be locked behind asses and crap, and eventually everyone gonna run around in rainbow guns and gears because we need to make money and need to sell more and more crazy stuff every month, right? So do we want a real game and fair game and no locked shit and stuff? You know, it's quite easy to choose, and I'm hoping that we will be able to run that model and have a much better game and a better experience for you guys, the players. I'm a hardcore MMO sandbox player, and I've been looking for a real sandbox game for so many years without pay-to-win shit, and there's nothing, you know. We still have EVE Online, a solid sandbox game. We don't have many other sandbox game, and they even increased their subscription model quite a bit, quite a hefty increase. But you know, if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. Then people want rainbows instead, and not a more good gaming experience for a low amount. You know, a beer, a donut, rather than you have to pay a few $100 to compete with the kids. I mean, it's quite easy, right? To me, it is. If I'm wrong, that means, you know, we have to evaluate our business model for the game. And if everyone sign off rainbows rather than a set fee, you know, maybe we need to look into that. But I really hope that that's not the case. And that's the indication we got so far from our community. You can get rainbows and subscriptions. How the hell, Enklenke? Sure, we can probably sell some rainbow cakes. Panda cakes. Sub is fine for that good in the game, if at least 2 per account. You should literally be paying people to play more than 2. Etik, why are you here? You're just incredible sad, you're incredible depressed or something, and you throw around sentences that doesn't make any sense to anyone whatsoever, and you think that you should get paid to play Mortal 2, which we're not gonna do. So I think you need to find a new game and play that perhaps, because you're gonna be more happy, and people in here are gonna probably be more happy. I don't know. In plans for Twitch drops Wolf M2? Yes, we do have some plans for that. Can I run a fully lawful town and set rules and not allow any criminal actions, even by guildies? But Dubin, we found some issues where guild members could become in a bad spot if your good guards interacted. So, but we want to make sure that you can build a fully lawful city, open it up for the public, and make sure that anyone that makes a criminal act will get the guard. But I think, if I'm not wrong here, that you as a owner of the city and that have hired the guards, they will still not attack you. But I'm not sure if we have had a rule for that also, because we wanted to make sure that you can't be grieved either. I have to recheck those options we have there, but we absolutely want to promote anyone building a open, lawful city and can actually run it successfully and benefit from doing so. Okay, Henrik, your game is awesome. Me and my friends are in love and enjoy Modern 2. We are mostly PvE players and are killed a lot by other players, but even with that, it's unique experience. I'm happy to hear that, and I'm happy that you have the right mindset to survive in our fierce world with the PvE more focused interest in the game, which is, you know, perfectly fine, because this is a true sandbox where every single area is equal important. And with Epic Games, it will be more clear, distinct, and consequences to breaking those murdering rules, which will make it a little bit more, I would say, manageable for those that want to avoid PvP. I think you don't have to fake anything. I think you need to find a new game because you don't sound happy. And people are not forced to play Hotline 2. If you feel awful, then maybe it's better to touch grass and play some Minecraft to get going. I don't mean it in a bad way. Absolutely not. I always respect our player base. But sometimes that break could be good, right? And welcome back whenever you want to try the game out. We're here to stay in the long run. I feel like managing your guild is part of it. Yeah, for sure. Can you hire terrible guards and really good guards? I'm not sure we have too many options to set that variation currently. Again, you know, the future updates of TC is endless when it comes to what other options and function we want to add to the game. There's still 10 grand for custom cape like in MO1. We haven't really had time to look in any of that at this point, so I'm not sure what we may have or may not have at this point. Did Farmer Joe left Star Wars? No, why would he? He's the main coder in the team, and he's been here since day one, so no, absolutely not. He's killing it with the TC work. Put a rainbow over the Minotaur dungeon. Only for $10 and we will make it happen, right? It's one of those cool games. I mean, we all need to touch on grass sometime, Sullivan, don't we? You know, any game can get to us at any given time, and obviously Mortal Kombat 2 can also do that to you, you know, right? So we all need to touch some grass sometime, I think. Well, all the good things come to Medulla while the rest will fill blanks. Well, most of the Medulla citizens actually claim the opposite. They say, can we please have something of value around Medulla or close to Medulla? Because there's nothing compared to what other region in the world gets. So it's interesting to hear completely opposites from different groups in the game. But with that said, we will absolutely add tons of lot more interest points, conflicts, dynamic spawners and such on entire mainland with Epic Games. That's one of the big points we are adding. A lot of cool stuff to explore and fight and, you know, explore everywhere on mainland. A lot more than we have now. Haka, no, Farmer Joe have not left Star Wars. Why would he? Krakow, good one. Good one, Krakow. Let's all sub to show Atik. Have any of you guys tried one of these headsets? They make a freaking dent in your skull when wearing them too long. I'm feeling the pain, so I'm starting to let it fall down behind me. Love Farmer Joe, such a nice guy. Remember you telling me about the codes from MO1 and why we would wait for MO2, and here it is. He's indeed a very good guy and a very good Mo coder, that's for sure. We need a grass touchment. Smoke grass, eh? Henrik, is that a new share? No, it's my golden 16 years old share that I talked about in a previous stream. The one and only since I started Star Vault. It's still going strong. It's amazing quality. When will Epic release be? We don't have an exact date, specifically publicly. We have our internal goals and dates, which we are working towards. Soon enough, we will reveal how that phase is gonna look like. But too early to reveal it, as we first need to deliver TC, right? Manila has nothing but Sea-Dew and Zabura. Stuff the jungle. The jungle have some specific things, but yeah, the jungle will also have more of the different things to explore and dynamics that you can encounter. Can we sub to win? No, but you can try to win. Am I behind? HyperX headphones doesn't leave a dent. I used to have a more refined gamer headset that was a little bit cheaper, but it didn't have a big weight on it, and it didn't hurt as much as these ones. What are these called? So yeah, Sennheiser, a good brand, right? And good quality sound, but holy shit, they failed on the how do you call it, the comfy side. It does hurt after a few hours if it's sitting straight on the head. Impeccable quality. Will there be a dungeon near Kantari? There will be more hotspots, camps and dungeons over time. I can't say exactly where, but obviously we try to spread them out quite evenly well. Read this, Henrik, is a good idea. What was it? Add crouch 1 second transition time with a skill between standing, crouching, lower visibility range for mobs while you crouch. So we already have a system in place where it comes to visibility and detection from our AI. And there's also a clade that taps into that, you know, the Alvarine clade. And we plan to add eventually crouching, possible, you know, that also attached to a sneaking, and that will tap into that function. So it will make it even less harder for AI to notice you. So we're absolutely gonna add on that, yes. The question is when. So yeah, absolutely. Try SteelSeries 9 Arctic headset. I was actually looking on that one and this one I'm using right now. I think they were quite similar and similar ratings, but maybe that's more comfy for the head. That's quite important because after a few hours getting a freaking head pain, not really good. Not really good. There are plans to release outer service more central so people in all Z and Z don't play with 350 ms. So we are going through some specific evaluation when it comes to the different continent server setup, and we're also getting hopefully the final numbers capacity during the PTR that we're gonna start now, and that's gonna help us to refine our final setup for Epic Game release and how that's gonna look and how the future expansion look on that. And that may mean that you have certain servers continents located in different areas in the world, which means you can travel across them in the world, and the latency will also be different depending on what continent you're playing, right? So we are experimenting through that whole setup based on PTR results, because that's when we also get the final server capacity optimization systems in place. That is the plan. Stop flexing your beard, Henrik. I need to flex it. Flexing the beard. A snake skill that hides your name tag with dope. Yeah. We will have a function that allows your name tag to be visible, because we have a few hiding systems coming also later that wouldn't make sense if you can see the name tag by just holding over. So it's all coming, and a lot of it ties to thievery, assassination areas as well. Yeah, there's obviously some issues that we want to address as well as soon as we have the opportunity. My dream is to be able to expand the team further, and that we can attend to high quality of life functions, and obviously any issue that we may still have in the game, that we can make sure that is taken care of as soon as possible. And then also with the expanded team, add more features and content in a more even faster pace, because we can then obviously cover a few more things rather than being focused on very few areas, because obviously we can't spread the few developers we have. We can't just throw 20 features on them at the same time. It's going to be a mess. So we have to carefully pick the area of focus and do that well and deliver it before we can move on to other areas. We can only do a few things simultaneously. But obviously with a bigger team, we can hopefully expand that also a little bit, so we can do even more simultaneously. Console release, that is on the table, but not in the very near future, I would say. We have we're gonna be busy with fully delivered TC and the Epic, two absolutely largest and most important delivery in Star Wars history, and for the Mortal Alliance 2 future. So it's 100% focus on those two steps. After that, we're gonna, with your help, pinpoint, identify what areas, features would we like to have next in the upcoming roadmap. Naming food, it's a good request that we have got in the past, so absolutely is something we wanna add. But again, I don't know when. Bunker is very beautiful, but empty because nothing interesting around it. I think there's a few things around Monkur. Hidden things, dynamic spawners, some resources, even a dungeon. It has some stuff going on, absolutely. But yeah, there are several large areas on Mirland that is lacking quite a bit and is quite empty. We have identified those, and we're gonna fill them quite a bit more with the Epic patch that includes a world addition when it comes to such content. By the way, I actually got a little finished armor piece. Do you want to show it as a last little bonus, or shall we keep it for the next stream, guys? I'm actually quite overdue. Almost 3.5 hours. Maybe best to save it. I mean, we will be quite busy next week, I guess, with running PTR together, right? So I may as well show it now before we end tonight's stream. Let me find it, guys. One moment. Don't be a tease. Let's see. Where the hell do I have it? If I can find it. But you like the new map, eh? I like it a lot. Really nice. And nice updates. Do you agree, guys? Do you agree? What the hell? Can you stop ignoring the question? What's the timer for loot to drop from structure? I'm not sure about the exact timer. Could be 24 hours or 48. I'm not entirely sure. And I'm never ignoring any questions. Don't be that rude, Divine. No, don't be that rude. I respond to all questions at least once, sometime a few times. What new map? Haven't you seen it, guys? You cheeky bastard. One moment, and I will show you then. What the? Cheeky bastard. Trying to find a freaking thing. Here it is. Let me show you. Let me show you. Boom. So imagine the Direwolf. You can see the chain here. And that's the space for the Mohawk fur. Looks insanely cool when it has this gear on it. Pretty cool. Yeah, I'm gonna show the map as well. You're gonna get this little nice updated Milan map. And you can zoom in. And you will see your kingdom. No? Kings, the kings are here. We don't like them. We are in war and we are here. Starvoltia. We have a constant war between each others. Constantly fighting against each others and have a war for the towers. On a daily basis we fight each others. So Starvoltia, this is me here. We build here. We are big. We are cool. We own these lands. And we have the nasty kings here, always harassing us, trying to steal our towers, but we hit them. We hit them back. We hit them back. That looks good. About cities too. Yeah, the cities are coming tomorrow. The cities are here. They're marked with a green dot and a nice name on over them. And then we have the red cities also, Quartermaster and Galcor also marked out. So you're gonna have those. We're adding those tomorrow. So yeah, you're gonna have those. You won't see your player position, and that is still one of those sensitive things, right? Where a lot of people really like the fresh take that you can get lost in Mortal, and you have to use your brain, eyes, and navigate that. Okay, this should be that mountain. This is the colorful forest. Okay, now this is the lake. Now I know where I am. Real knowledge, you know, real skills, and sometimes you need a guide down in the jungle. That's a big thing, and a lot of people like and enjoy that. And obviously, adding you in a map would eliminate that, right? So we are careful not destroying a root feature that a lot of people are really enjoying, right? Does it make sense? Get rid of map, get rid of compass. What? Should we get rid of everything? How the hell? How the hell? I mean, you're not shown on the map here, so that still means you can still get lost, right? You have to use your brain to navigate accordingly. And that's a cool thing, right? Map is too detailed. Come on, man. Come on. It was a tremendous work to make this map because we want it to be accurate. At the same time, we can't just, you know, load the world and get a map out of it. God, Stevie, get out of here. Get out of here. Get out of here. Like I said, later on, we still want to add those map skills function where we can refine things. You can pinpoint things. You can add functions on the map. and have a toggle control, and that should, you know, give you additional interesting component on the map. The map work is the best I've ever seen. Really good job. The artist is going to be really happy hearing that. Thank you very much. Maybe it's not too detailed. It's awesome. Very happy to hear that. I mean, we want it to look interesting and still be useful and show some things. I mean, obviously you can recognize the colorful forest here, right? And, you know, you have the landmarks, so you can hopefully navigate. Is it topographically accurate? Yes. This would make an amazing online map replacement rather than an in-game one. Online replacement, this is in-game, and obviously that's what everyone gonna need, and including new players. So yeah, it's a good map. Good map. All right, guys. Are we done for today? Got a little sneak peek of what's expecting next week with these machineries and some of the functions. And got some crazy nimbus shooting a player with this catapults. So I think this is it. Yeah, 3.5 hours. Only 1.5 too long today. But it was a good stream showcasing some of these cool machinery, so it was worth it, guys. Hope you enjoy the sneak peek before you get to play around with it. Good showing. TC gonna be a shit show, but it will be great too. Can't wait. I'm not sure it's gonna be a shit show. Hopefully not. I mean, the testers have been testing it every day since we added every single feature, and I showcase most of the function without any madness. But of course, you're gonna find things, right? We expect that. That's why we don't want to prolong it too much. If you can find it quickly and efficiently, it's gonna help us to patch it very quickly as well. So we're on standby as well to follow up if something goes too crazy. Hopefully not too crazy, but we're expecting a little bit chaos because it's the first time we do a PTR as well. So, but we are ready. We're ready. All right, guys. Let's. And there's the little wolf armor. Really cool. Really cool. I like it. I'm like it. Thanks. Been waiting for the next game like you and in first person too. Amazing. This is it. This is it. You won't get closer. And I fully agree. UO was my dream MMO. And since there's been nothing since, we had to make Mortal. Share the map, please. You're gonna have the map, the fully finished map next week. It's gonna have the cities and so on as well then. So you can wait. You can wait a week. Good stream today. Was getting bored of the pet armor streams. Yeah, I thought so. That's why I thought I could jump in and show a little bit of what's coming next week. My God, another one. Faithful Peppa, thank you for the subscription. That's a new streamer called Dudakai who's streaming Mortal. He's got fewer followers than this one. Ready, maybe? Dudakai, let me take a look. Let me take a look. Who's streaming? Dudakai. Shall we raid him then? I don't think I ever raided him. And we try to pass it on to everyone all the time, right? Shall we do him then, rather than Paul on the raid today? Do I have a yes? Is old sewer rat? Go go go! Raid the bastard! All right, let's do it. Let's do it then. All right, guys. Thank you very much for joining me today on this little pre-tease of TC. Let's do the raid then to, let's see. Dudakai. Where is my raid button here? Dudakai it is then. Alright, thank you very much for all your questions, your support, donations, subscriptions, and awesome feedback on the little I showed today, little sneak peek. And next week I will see you on my stream. It will probably be earlier. We're gonna announce everything. We're gonna update our website, and we will start PTR together, guys, and have a blast, hopefully, and get some madness and chaos and get going with finally refining TC. So very important days ahead here. Thank you all again, and let's say hello to Dudakai then and give him some support on all of that. And I'll see you in a week. Have a good night and bye bye.